to Las Locas Chronicles.
Loca. I see I went red over there. Welcome to our uniform. Okay, we cry, we laugh, we reminisce, we talk. Chunky Jeff. Amarillo famous. Did I say Amarillo? This is.
What's up, Loca 2?
Locas, and hey everybody, welcome to Las Locas
Chronicles.
We are live today on this Thursday. This is the last week of July. We are already entering the last month of 2026. This is it right here.
Can you believe it? It's listen, I went to Hobby Lobby the other day. It was literally like 3 days ago. Why are they rolling out carts full of Christmas balls? What are we doing? It's July. Okay.
Bro. Christmas in the summer, bro.
Enjoy the season.
Can we just enjoy the season? I feel like that's an episode that we've done already.
We've done that already.
Yeah, I feel like this is where we're at. Everything is just so commercialized. Everything is rushing us, you know? Everything wants to take us like we can't embrace the seasons that we're in because this world wants to rush us. They want to tell, back in the day, now that you're saying this, back in the day, little girls could be little girls.
Yes. Okay.
You didn't start wearing makeup until you were maybe 18, 20. Like the most makeup girls in high school had was, that brown liner. Most of the girls in my class, we had like a little Carmex, a little chapstick.
I was going to say that the brown liner with some chapstick, with some little, lip gloss or whatever, and it was good.
What we did was we did the slick back, we did the gel, we did the little twirls on our face, the hair twirls before the edges ever were a thing. This is what we had, and little girls could be little. I feel like we embraced natural beauty.
Yes.
It was a thing. Now we got 12-year-olds with press-on nails. We got 12-year-olds that are paying $60 to get their nails done, while this 40-something-year-old person is getting press-ons. Like, what is going on here?
Right. And doing makeup videos. These little girls are on here talking about, guys, let me show you my skincare routine. Girl, you're 13. You don't need skincare routine, okay? You need nothing, okay? You have natural beauty. What are we doing?
That's what I'm trying to tell you. We rushing everything. Why are we in a society that needs to rush everything? Why can't we just allow? Listen, when your 13-year-old has more money for her skincare routine, I'm questioning what's going on here, because I know, listen, we're living in times where we don't have it like that. You know what I mean? Yeah. And she's got a $50, or what is it? The Mare. I don't even know, because your girl doesn't even have it. You feel me? But she's like, I just want gift cards. 13-year-olds. I just want gift cards to Sephora for my skincare. Yo, can I give you a gift card to Sephora? I'm getting my skincare from the Dollar Tree. I'm not ashamed.
Yo, by the way, okay, we cannot sleep on the Dollar Tree, because you have been telling me my skin is very sensitive. You know this. I've had acne since I was 12 years old. And I bought this foundation from the Dollar Tree. And why I can't find it no more. And now I'm like a maniac looking online for this $1.25 foundation.
Because Jessica, that's what they be doing. That's why your girl be telling you buy them in bulk, okay?
Yeah.
that, remember that lash glue that you bought me?
Yep.
Like, and I said, get me another 7. Because why? Because one lash glue in Ulta or Sephora, you
Yeah.
feel what I'm saying? Like, and it works better than some of them. But anyway, not here that rushing the times,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
kids don't want to play anymore. They,
No.
it's we're just rushing the time. They don't need to grow up this fast.
And also, and I'm gonna say this, and you know what, y'all can hate me, and I'm okay with that. Okay, I don't need to be liked by everyone. But here's the thing: don't enable your children to dress like adults. Let's just say that, okay? If your 16-year-old is wearing clothes that a grown 30-year-old woman is wearing, it's too grown for her. Okay, it's too grown. She don't need to be wearing short shorts. She don't need a strapless bra or pasties. Okay, she needs to be wearing a full shirt. Like I'm just saying, right?
Like,
Because when we're making our
okay,
kids, we're
today
realizing,
we turn from tia locas to abuela locas, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. Listen,
okay with that.
you know, abuela locas, because like people don't get what you're saying. Like when your 14-year-old's got her belly button pierced,
Oh, yes, correct. It's too much. It's
it's
too
too
much.
much. It's too much. Like let her, like that's questionable to me. Like who's raising this child? You know?
Yeah. Yeah. Who's raising the child? You or culture? Because as the parent, right? We I was a parent. We have to protect our children from growing up too fast, from experiencing too much too soon, right?
Period.
Can we protect them from everything? No, we can't, right? It's impossible.
It is
This is
impossible.
why we don't raise
Absolutely
our children alone. We
right.
raise them with the help of God, right? Um,
Absolutely. And let me just
but
say this to that point. Let me say this to that point, because I feel like what you're saying is so valid. If your child, because this was me growing up, like I was a wild beast and I did what I wanted. Okay. I did what I wanted. I need people to know, like, I'm not coming after something that I'm not. I was that child that did whatever she wanted. I was a reckless, wild horse. Okay. But if your child were to come home with her belly button already pierced that her friend did for her, okay, then it is your job to be like, get that out of your belly button before I snatch it out.
oh,
Okay.
and you're gonna walk around
And,
with two belly buttons.
and you're gonna be with two belly buttons because then you teach them. It's
Yeah,
not, if you give that permission, it's about, now is not the time for that. If at
exactly.
18 you decide, if at 19 you decide, now's
Yeah,
not the time. But at
yeah,
14, you're not gonna have that. That's
right.
the teaching that I'm talking about. Like parents are mothers, okay, mostly are locas, right? You still got the authority, and you still listen. Time
Yeah.
is in your hands, where we don't have to have our kids have to like hyper drive their childhood.
Right, right. There is no rush because the time is so short, is so limited that listen, by the time you realize that your kid is 18 years old, and let's just say they are blessed to live to 80, right?
Right,
That's a
right,
tiny portion of their lives. It's okay. A season that they're never going to get back again.
right.
We're never going to be children again, right?
No,
And so why don't we just let them enjoy being children,
right.
enjoy the freedom, right, of what it is to be a child and what it is to have fun and teach them, right? Use this opportunity to train them so that when they do leave the nest, right, they become responsible adults, but also, right, building that relationship so that they can always come back, have the freedom to come back to you, to ask you the questions and all the things that they're going to need as adults, right? So there's a process to this.
You just said something, and I want to listen, break it down. Top 3 things that you feel a parent should teach their child to make them responsible adults. I'm thinking of
Oh,
my top 3 top 3 things. Like there's a whole list, right? And y'all, for y'all that are here and you're watching, we want you to drop top 3 things that you feel parents in 2026 in this generation of Gen Alphas that we need to teach our kids so that when they grow up, they can be responsible adults. Because let me tell you something, I've got some 40-year-olds in church that they missed the lessons.
Oh, wow. But you ain't wrong. You are not wrong.
When you 40 years old and you come in at somebody's house and you get up from the table and you leave your plate there,
you ain't right. You was not home trained, okay?
But can we please? Okay. Okay, ready? Listen, Locas out there, listen, I know you're watching. I don't know why. I wanted to come in with a playful banter with my girl. I haven't talked to her all week. It feels like a month I haven't talked to you. I wanted to catch up right here online. I wanted to express my heart. I wanted to, tell you how much I need a sister right now, like all these things. And you just came out. I should have put this up right here. Like,
we can still do all those things. We can still do all those things. Okay, let's just say the obvious, not included in the 3. The obvious, right? Should be your children in the Lord, right? That's
okay. That's bottom line. That's foundation.
Foundation.
Okay? So you're tuning in right now. We want you to drop in the chat the top 3 things that a parent should teach their child, raise their child in, so that when they are adults, they will be responsible. Okay, so Jessica says we're not going to do the obvious. Raise your child in the ways of the Lord. Iris, I see you, Iris. I see you, Iris. Pam, I see you. But let's give Loca one. Come on, Jess. Number 1.
The number 1 thing, or the 3 things. I don't know if they will be in order, but
not in order.
Okay, the 3 things for me would be number 1, how to be in relationships with people. Number 2, how to take care of a home. And number 3, finances.
You did good, Mom. Those are some excellent.
Yeah.
Those are some number 3. But number 3, because we got people living with bad credit, putting credit in their kids' names because they maxed out their credit.
You're right.
On Las Locas, we're gonna say all of it. We're gonna say it all.
And that's something we don't do. My husband and I, we made a a decision early on that we were not going to be those people to be like, can I get a credit card in your name and I'll just pay you later? Or can you co-sign for my car? Or can you co-sign for the apartment? Or can you do, we agreed early on that we were never going to do that for people. Because at the end of the day, there's a reason why you're asking us to do that. Because if you were responsible in the first place, you wouldn't need my help. And so we understood that our finances were for our family, right? It was the resources that we needed to be able to take care of our children. And so, it's one thing if you're gonna, if I'm gonna, if you're in need and we decide that we're gonna bless you, with resources, but it's a whole nother thing when you now are wanting to connect, right?
Yes.
Cut the umbilical cord. You're going to connect yourself to our finances and our resources that take away from my children's, mouths.
1,000.
So and
I really think that you hit the nail on the head with something that, because, we are what we learn.
Yeah.
And in the US of A, I don't know the statistics, but I recall in a seminar that I went to, we have the worst financial plans.
100%.
And that speaks to, because poverty is a generational curse.
Correct. It is, because here's the thing. We don't know what we don't know. And culturally,
we don't know what we don't.
Generationally, right? Our parents didn't know. They're just making it up. They're doing what they think is right. Right. And so then they teach us these things that they believe were right, but they actually didn't know. And so in essence, what they could be doing is passing on bad financial habits. Parents who overspend, parents who live off of credit cards, parents who don't know how to budget, parents who have, Mercedes-Benz taste, and they got,
Say it.
whatever,
No. I need you to say it.
a little
No,
Pinto,
because
you know what I'm saying? They got Pinto
listen,
wages and Mercedes-Benz taste,
listen. You know what? I will rather, and I know some people don't like this. I know some people don't like this, but I will rather fake it. If you really want that Louis Vuitton that bad, then you go to Canal Street. You get yourself, they're going to tell you to give them $170. I'm
right?
going to tell you, you barter that and you give them $40 and they'll be all right. I'd rather you have a $40 bag and have food in your pantry than
Correct.
pretend. Like, here we are, and you don't even own the house that you're in, but you need to act. You need to fake it. You need to have all the luxury items. Come on now. We
Let
got
me
to
say,
have our priorities. Okay, my number one is teach your kids priorities.
correct.
Teach your kids priorities.
Correct.
Okay? And that goes a long way for a lot of things. School, education is a priority.
Right. Boyfriends
When
and girls are not priority.
you just went into my mouth and took, like, you just took out like what I was gonna say. Because if you don't teach your kids priorities, they're gonna learn early in life that they need to be hooked up with somebody, that they're not even ready for relationships.
Yes.
Their priority is getting themselves ready. Get yourself ready so that when you are an adult and old enough to comprehend what a real relationship looks like, you have something to offer.
Exactly. Right. Because in essence, right, what we're doing, and I think if we change the perspective on what it means to be a teenager, what it means to be a preteen, what it means to be a teenager, right? If we change the perspective into you are preparing yourself for this future relationship, for this future career, for this
Yes.
thing that God is preparing for you, right?
Yes.
God is
Yes.
preparing it, but we also have to be prepared to receive it. And so a lot of
Yes.
times we're not prepared to receive it. And then we're like, God, why isn't my blessing coming? Why isn't my blessing coming? Because you're not ready for it. You're not
Because
ready
you're
for
not
it.
ready for it. Correct.
And
Correct.
God's like, a
Yes.
lot of us, we pray for finances. We're like, God, I want more money. I want a better job. I want, bigger salary. And God's like, okay, but can you take care of that $35,000 salary that I gave you? Can you go
Right.
on a budget? Can you clip them coupons? Can you buy great value stuff? You know what I mean? Can you make do with what you have? Can you
And
cook meals every day for under $10? Right?
back
Until
to
you do
what you
that,
said.
I'm not gonna
Back
give
to
you
what back to what you said in regards to having this elevated palate, right? I have people that, have a minimal budget for food, during the week, but they don't want to cook. They want to eat out every day. And then they
correct.
complain if someone was like, hey, I made this for you. Oh, no, I can't eat that. I don't like green beans.
Right. Right. And this is what cracks me up. Like, because I know we keep talking about finances and maybe this is the direction, right? But here's
No,
the thing.
because Jessica, it is that important. What
It's that
you
important.
said, it is that important.
Yeah.
It is
When
that important because let me tell you, and I'm sorry, I'm so hyped about this
no, go
because
ahead.
there's times because of the lack of the lack of ability that we've given our kids financially, the lack of um knowledge in this area, they're begging.
Right. Right.
They can't
Yeah.
go to college.
Right.
They don't have a plan. They can't get a house. They can't,
Exactly.
they can't have the wedding of their dreams.
Right. Right. Exactly. It affects every area of your life. I remember when Josh and Bianca, they were babies. They were just little babies. And I was a stay-at-home mom. We lived off of one salary. My husband didn't make that much, but he was working, right? He would take on extra hours. He did everything that he could do. And I remember that we were on WIC and WIC stamps. And so it's like when they give you, the government gives you free milk
A food
and shoes.
allowance. A food
Yes,
allowance.
allowance. And so, you would go in and back in I don't know how they do it now, but back in the day, they would tell you what you could get with each stamp. You can get baby milk, you can get regular milk, you can get juice, you can get, whatever it was on the stamps. And so I had to go into, like every couple months I had to go in to recertify for the stamps. I kid you not. I would drive there with this old beat up Ford Taurus, okay, station wagon that my mom gave me. It had no front bumper, no back bumper. Okay, I would drive over there because it was free and it was paid off, right? I will go there and take my kids to go recertify. Trust me, in the waiting room of the WIC office, there was women there with children. Okay, first of all, they just got their hair done up. You didn't do that yourself. Their kids were wearing Jordans, babies wearing Jordans, women with their nails done. Like I went in there, nothing. Okay, I had nothing. We had nothing. I had hand-me-downs. Okay, whatever my sister-in-law would send us because she worked at Kmart. She would send us boxes of clothes, right, with clearance tags all over it because she would find it cheap and then send us boxes of clothes. And these people in there with their kids with Jordans getting WIC stamps. Well, maybe if you didn't buy them Jordans, you wouldn't need to be on WIC. And it sounds messed up, right? It sounds like, oh, you're being insensitive. Right. No, because I was that girl, right? I was the girl sitting in the WIC office because we didn't have enough to buy baby milk and to buy juice. But I didn't stay in that place, right? It's okay to receive help. It's not okay to stay in that place. It's okay to pass through the desert. We don't camp in the desert and make it our home.
Say it one more time. It's okay. I just need you to slow down. Yeah. It's okay. It's okay to seek for help. We all have. I don't know a marriage that has never gone through a financial crisis.
Right.
There's stages in marriages. I don't know of a marriage that has never gone through a financial crisis. And if you haven't, bless the Lord, right? That's not your testimony. But we are all going to go through a moment of escasez, of lack, of drought. We are all going to, in our lifetime, we will have a moment of drought where we're going to have to call upon the Lord to send manna, right? But how we steward that manna in that season is going to get us through the next season.
Right.
And when we do not teach our children how to steward what the Lord sends, then they are going to be at risk at living in a drought season for the rest of their life. Right. And always having a beggar's mentality.
Right. It's that poverty mentality.
It's that poverty mentality. It's that mentality of, well, I can't. Well, can you give me $10 for gas? That right there, Jessica.
Yeah.
That right there, Jessica. Let me say, up to my 30s, bro. Up to my 30s. It's not that I'm prideful. I will work my tail off. It's not that I'm prideful. If I ever needed money, Jessica knows she, as my friend, she's come in a time of crisis and need, and her husband were there for me. Her and her husband were there for me. But in my 30s, I would be selling flans online so that I could pay for the house.
Right.
Ain't girl. No shame in my game.
Jobs, contract jobs, freelancing, doing whatever needs to be. I did all the things too. Oh, you need a resume? I'll type it up for you. Oh, you need these. Listen, I didn't even know how to fill out immigration papers. And here I am filling out immigration papers, reading the directions. Oh, this number 7 is like this number. I did all the things. You do what you need to do to
do what you need to do. But you know who's watching? Your children.
Your children are watching. Yeah.
But you know what? But Jess, here's the thing. There are parents that don't have no shame in their game and they'll do the thing, but they're not teaching their kids. What they're doing is enabling them. They're doing all the work. Instead of saying, Mamita, get in here and crack some eggs with your mother.
Right.
Call these people. You're going to go out. You're going to deliver. You're going to make the deliveries. Because then they're going to feel like, oh, this is life. You know what I'm saying? My mom got me. But what about when your mom's not there?
Right. Yeah. We don't teach our kids how to be independent, financially independent, and part of that, right, is we already said the baseline is serving the Lord, right? And part of those finances is teaching our kids that God comes first and that whatever we get, right, whatever's brought into the home, that we give our tithes first to God always, right?
Let
That's
me tell
one
you
thing that
something.
my father has
But
taught me
you lost the
from the
whole
beginning.
audience right there. You lost the whole audience right there because nobody wants to give God
Yeah,
what's owed to him.
yeah,
They'll give
yeah,
a portion. They'll give una ofrendita.
yeah, yeah. Let
But
me tell you,
do we
yeah.
acknowledge that the tithe and offering are two different things?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. You give your tithes, and then you have an offering which is above and beyond. My husband and I, listen, from the beginning, my father has always taught us that God always comes first. And I believe that that's why God has blessed us so much in our lives. My husband says to
Correct.
me the other day, I was worried, complaining about something, and you know me, I'm always like, oh, I don't know, I don't know if I can do that and this and that. And I just like to be a good steward of what God has given me. And my husband said,
Right.
babe, he goes, he goes, you don't need to worry about it. He goes, God has always been faithful in our finances. God has always been faithful. But you know what? God has been faithful to us because he's a faithful God, but also because we have been faithful in our giving. When we had nothing, we gave to God first. I can tell you the thousands and thousands of miracles that God has done in our lives, in our finances, because we have always given to God first. And that was a lesson that my father and my mother demonstrated in my life. And we have demonstrated that to our kids, and God has always remained faithful in the middle of it. Time and blessed us in ways that we could never even have imagined.
Right. Giving is faith, bro. Giving is faith.
Yeah.
I've had multiple people say, I want to give, but I just can't. And I challenge you to give
Yeah.
first. You
Give
know,
first.
the tithe that belongs to the Lord. But let me tell you about offering. And it's a quick lesson that I learned from my husband. A quick lesson that I learned from my husband. And it's the offering is telling the Lord how grateful you are.
Oh, that's good.
The offering is just a sign of gratitude. How
Yeah,
grateful you are is how much you're going to give.
that's
And
right.
so in my life, and I share this so that I am not a millionaire, and I still have, we're getting out of debt, praise the Lord, but God has always been first. And but my offering is greater than my tithe.
Yeah, that's good.
And even with that, I cannot explain the supernatural God math.
No, God's math does not make sense. My husband and I, we tithe as a family. We give offering as a family, and we also support missionaries too, multiple
That's
missionaries,
right. That's
because
right.
the Bible does talk about that we should bless those who are working for the Lord, right? And so I work for the Lord too, right?
Yeah.
But I'm going to bless somebody else because I know that they're doing work that I could never, that God has not opened up the door for me to be able to do, right? So we bless a family, and they work in a seminary in Indonesia, and they are doing
Yeah.
God's work, right? They are doing God's
And I
work, and when
feel like,
I help them, it makes me feel
yeah.
like I'm supporting that ministry.
And I feel like when you help or you give your offering to a certain missions
Yeah,
field, there's a hospital that I give to, that's I consider that missions and mission work around the world. I feel like that's a whole different kind of offering, right? And I don't know how we got on this topic, but somebody needed to hear it today. Somebody
yeah,
needed to hear it today.
yeah,
These are fundamental things that, in order to make our children responsible as adults, we need to be
yeah.
teaching.
Yeah. So okay. Another one on my list was relationships. Listen,
Hold on, before you get there,
uh,
let me tell you what the locas out there are saying.
go
Okay,
ahead.
some fundamental things to teach our kids now, so that then when they're adults, they're responsible. I love this one. Iris said, "A please and thank you.
Get
A please and thank you."
yes, yes, yes. And I'm gonna say yes, please and thank you. Okay,
Please.
please teach your children to be respectful, and thank you for that, right?
I'm a,
Because
I'm a, I'm gonna add to that. I'm gonna add to that because I just spoke about this last night. There's nothing that tees me off when it is 8, 9 in the morning and you want to already give me a whole dissertation of the things that you need me to do for you today, and you didn't even say good morning.
Okay.
Can we teach our kids, please, thank you, good morning, good night? Un
Right.
saludo, bro. Un
Right.
saludo. You know?
Yeah.
And with the smile. And with it in my house, in my mother's house, like we had to go around tell everybody good morning. We couldn't just be like good morning to everyone. No, good morning, mom, dad, you know, the whole line. And we had to say with a smile. My father would be like, you want to say that again? You know? So with, you know, put a little pep in it. Put a little pep in it. But please and thank you. And then Pam said, number one, teach your kids that there are consequences. That's a great one.
That's a great one.
That's a great one.
That's a great one.
That's because there are, for everything, there's a consequence, good or bad.
Right.
Number two, she said, watch what people do rather than what they say.
Ooh, that's a good one too.
Okay, Pam, I see you in the glory. Okay.
That's
And
a good
number
one too.
three, be truthful to yourself.
That's a great one too.
I
Because
love it.
people are not
Monica,
honest about themselves.
they're not honest about themselves. But you know, honesty is a freedom. Honesty is a freedom. Because when you're not truthful to yourself, then you're performing.
Yikes. You ain't wrong.
And then Monica says, respect yourself and others. And just that's why I wanted to read these, because I think this is going to go hand in hand with your relationship dialogue, you know. And that's one thing that you and I did not do growing up, is respecting ourselves, right? So respect yourself and others. Melissa says finances, respect, and accountability.
Accountability is good.
Accountability is up there. Monica, her number two, says surround yourself with people to bring you up and not break you down.
That's great too. That's a great one.
Here's the thing, teach your kids that, you know, right now that over the last, I believe, 15 years, there's been this huge surge of bullying, right? And over the last 10 years, there's been a lot of our children hurting themselves, right? I don't want to say the word hurting themselves because of the bullying. But what happens is when you teach your child to value who they are, or when you teach your child to surround themselves with the right people, because they stay in those bullying relationships. Child, no. You know, we have to teach them to be around. What kind of people do you want to be around? You know, so let's see. That's all we got for right now. So let's enter in to the relationships part.
My God in heaven.
This is what we are teaching our kids so that when they get older, they will be responsible adults. Vicky, good morning. Good afternoon.
Here's the thing. You know, our kids are going to model what we teach them. Our kids are going to model later on, right? What we have modeled in our own homes. They're gonna play it out. So if we're in a relationship, let's just say I'm going to talk about marriage relationships first, right? Or a relationship with somebody else. Whatever you do in that relationship, however you talk to your spouse or however you allow them to talk to you, they're going to see as a norm in relationship.
Norm. Yes.
So if you make it a habit to disrespect each other, to curse at each other, they're going to think that that's a normal relationship behavior. If one of your spouses, if you or your spouse are the bully in the relationship, they're going to learn either to be bullied or they're going to learn to be the bully. Right? Whatever you model in that relationship, whatever is modeled in your home, they will repeat that later on in their own relationships.
1000%.
Right? And so this is why a lot of times, you know, we stay in bad relationships because of the way that we feel, the connection that we have. And what we don't realize, more importantly, is that that we need to remove ourselves from the situation, not just for ourselves, but for the generations that come after us. Because
100.
whatever we put up with, they're going to look for relationships just like that. So if you're in a relationship where it's tumultuous, where you're fighting all the time, where you're disrespecting each other, they will end up
Right.
in a relationship that's exactly the same way.
Right.
Because that was what was modeled. Oh, my
Because
dad yelled at my mom all the time. My mom yelled at my dad all the time.
right.
He
Right. And
whatever
to
the
that,
behavior.
even to that, like if they see that the mom disrespects the father, oh, you don't have to listen to him. You do what I say. What is she gonna grow up doing?
She's going to do the
She's gonna
same
be
thing. She's going to be controlling in her own
exactly
relationship and demonstrate
right.
those same behaviors.
Right. So in this relationship model that we're using, the first thing is that home relationship. It is important not to show them perfection, but to show them how we navigate it.
To show them humility, to show them what
Correct.
love really looks like. That love
Right.
is right to demonstrate. And this is why really Christ has to be the center of your relationship and in your home. You can't
Right.
model unconditional love if you have not received the unconditional love that our Father offers us. Right?
Yeah.
If you receive perfect love, you know how to give that type of love. To love somebody, really, when the Bible says to love them through thick and thin, through sickness and health, right? Through all the things that you're going to go through in a relationship, because it's not always going to be good. It's not always going to be fruitful. It's not always going to be loving. There are going to be dry seasons, right? And this is where we show our kids that we're going to love this person, that we're going to work on the relationship, that we're going to put God at the center of relationship at every single moment of the relationship, right? And
Right.
so God doesn't come when everything is falling apart. You know how many couples come to it? You know this, Alexa, because they do this to you too. Couples come to us when they are completely in crisis mode. Their relationship is falling apart because they have not put God at the center of their relationship. And now they want God to step in and fix the mess that they created
Oh,
amongst
fix
themselves
it and fix it. Correct.
and fix
Correct.
it.
Right. And also like family discussions. That sounds like so leave it to Beaver, but
Right?
they're important.
They are
Family
important.
times at the table, like, let's talk about, I know you guys saw Dad and I argue. This is what we were arguing about. And this is the conclusion that we made. And we want you guys, tell me how you feel about that, you know,
Yeah.
because we're living in a society that social awkwardness is at an all-time high.
Oh my gosh. Let's talk about that, girl.
That's my number two. That's my number two.
People do not know how to have conversations.
I already forgot what my number one was, but my number two is listen, you want to teach your child how to be responsible. I have adults that can't even look at me in the face and have a full conversation.
It's crazy. It's
My
crazy.
My sister, when your child can say everything that he or she wants on social media, but in person can't even look at an adult or any one of their peers in the face and have a full conversation without all the acronyms that I need a whole dictionary for to know what the heck this generation is saying. Like, we need to teach our kids to have conversation. We need to expose them. Everybody say expose. We need to expose them to society.
We do.
We need to expose them.
We
You
do.
know what? When I see kids at restaurants and they're already on the device and the lady comes around and says, "What would you like to drink?" And the mother has to answer, "No." The child needs to get off the phone and say, "Ma'am," and this is you training them "Ma'am, may I have a strawberry lemonade, please?" And she goes,
Right.
"Okay, you got it. Thank you." And when the drink comes back, what is the next response? The next response is, "Thank you very much."
Right. We did that with our kids. We did that. We would practice. We'd say, "Okay, what do you guys want from the menu? Pick out what you want." When she comes back, she's gonna ask you. You're gonna let her know. Okay, and we would make them. Okay, tell me, what are you gonna say? Okay, tell me again what you're gonna say. And then they're like, "I forgot." Okay, tell me again what you're gonna say. And then when the waitress would come or the waiter, I would say to them, "Okay, tell them." right? Okay, tell them it's okay.
Exactly.
Take your time. Take your time, right? Because we're teaching them. We're teaching them how to have a
Because we're
conversation. We're teaching
teaching
them how to
them,
engage with people. We're teaching them how to be assertive.
Yes,
Come on.
Jessica. Yes, and yes, and yes.
Yeah. Because these
Yes,
kids
to
don't
all.
know how to have
Listen,
conversations.
here's the thing. You want to talk about that your child is going to be a preacher, your child is going to be a lawyer, your child is going to be a doctor, but they can't talk to nobody.
Right. They can't call and make their own doctor's
You,
appointment.
you see the you see the greatness in your child, but you're not training them to be responsible enough to carry out a conversation.
Right. Yeah.
I mean,
It
can I
boggles
just
my
get a
whole
witness
mind.
online? I just
Somebody said,
want one
come
witness,
on.
y'all.
Yeah.
I just needed one witness.
It's crazy.
We need
It's actually crazy. Yeah.
yeah. And then
I agree.
we have when your child is 14 and is hiding behind you because they don't want to talk to nobody. But then they have a whole different lifestyle on their phone or tablet or whatever. Come on,
Yeah.
parent.
Listen, yes, it boggles my whole mind, because here's the thing. This comes back to parenting, what we spoke about in the beginning. When my kids were little, we didn't have devices. It wasn't a thing, right? We didn't give our kids
No.
tablets. We didn't, have all these things. We had TV, right? But here's the beauty about the TV. The TV was so big that you couldn't carry the TV with you everywhere you went. You actually had to take your kids to go places to be entertained, right? So I would, when
Yeah.
they were home, if they wanted to watch some TV, okay, that's fine. But I would actually take my kids places. I took them to the community center. They had mommy and me time. I met friends at the mommy and me time. We used to take our kids to the park at McDonald's. We didn't have a lot of money, so I'd buy like a kids meal and cut up the little nuggets for the kids and whatever.
And share.
We took them to the park. We took them to the pool. You know what I mean? And things that weren't expensive. I took my kids to the library. I got them library cards because it was free. Then I'd say, hey guys, we're gonna go to the library. So you can pick out 3 books each and we go get the books, right? And then I say, okay, is that the book that you want? Is that the book that you want? Okay, let's read the book. You know what I mean? Listen, you got to get these kids off the tablets. You got to get them off the phone. There's no reason why a 7-year-old needs a cell phone, right? There's no reason why they need a tablet. My kids didn't have devices till they were in high school, middle school. They must have been in 7th and 8th grade, I think, around that time when we finally got them a phone, because my kids were going to 2 separate schools. My son was going to high school. My daughter was still in middle school. And so she did soccer and he did marching band and we needed to coordinate. And so then we got them devices, right? But listen, your 2-year-old doesn't need his own device. He needs to go outside and experience sunburn, okay? He needs to go outside and know what it is to be thirsty, because he's been playing around for 3 hours.
But right now, parents are like, well, how do you do that? Because we have to acknowledge that we are probably the last of the Mohicans, our generation.
We're extinct.
We have to acknowledge that our generation is the last Mohicans where we didn't have the devices, right?
Yes.
We see it a lot more because we're pastoring families, we're overseeing families. So what we need to get in, because we do not want to leave the locas out there feeling ashamed of what they're doing.
Right.
No, this is not shaming anyone. This is us telling you the things that we're walking through together, how to make responsible adults. And we need to take accountability. That's a big word. We need to take accountability that what we're doing now, the seeds that we're planting now, is either going to make them responsible or not. Because, again, and we've said it on some other shows, we got grown adults that are capable of being married that don't want to because they don't want that responsibility. They'd rather be
Right.
home with mom and dad for the rest of their life because mom's
Right.
gonna cook, clean, put everything away. And why leave? Life is too good.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, we don't want to shame anybody because we know, Liz, I know it's hard. It was hard when I, worked and then we couldn't afford childcare. So I had to stay home. And so now you're making less money and we was just creative, right? I went to the library. We went to the pool when it was cheap. We did all the things, right? I went to the
All the
pool that
things.
was $5 more because they would let me bring a cooler with food in there, right? So I could stay there all day if I wanted to, okay, and be able
Right.
to feed the kids with peanut butter jelly sandwiches. Okay, I just did what we were on WIC. You know what I mean? So whatever they gave us,
Right.
I was able to make. I counted how many meals I could make by the end of the month. Richard would say, "How many meals do we have left? And how many dinners do we have left?" And I'd say, "We have 6 dinners left." Right, because I would plan out and I said, okay, we have 2 pieces of chicken for this, and we have some pasta here, and we have some rice here, and I have 3 cans of beans, and every day I would make something, right? um
Right.
so listen, this is not to shame you. This is to say there are things that are convenient. Parenting is one thing that's not convenient. We cannot
Right.
allow convenience to take over our parenting. I understand because I put my kids in front of the TV sometimes and I would be out of my mind and be like, listen, y'all just need to watch Barney, okay, and leave me alone for a little bit. But
Right.
parenting is not convenient. It's not. We have to take out the time to be with our kids. We have to take out the time to teach them. We have to take out the time to spend time. We have to teach them what it is to have fun.
Right. Right. And if there have already been bad habits, because that's what they are.
Yeah, they are bad
If
habits.
if bad habits have already been established and you're like, well, it's too late. Uh-uh. No, no,
It's never
no.
too late. It's never too late.
Stop right there. Stop right there. It's never too late. Now we have to repattern habits, right?
Right.
And it's going to take a little work, but it's going to happen. But it is work, like anything in
It is
life.
work. It is work. Whatever's worth having, you have to put work into it. If it's
Period.
worth having a family, you gotta work at it. Yes, it's
Right.
easy. It's easy to make a kid. Then we get the hard part is raising them, right? To raise
Right.
them in the ways of the Lord. Even if you're not a believer and you're watching this, to be responsible human beings who know how to interact with each other, who know how to have small
Yes.
talk, who know how to defend themselves, right? Who know how to stick up for themselves, right? To be their own advocate, like
That's but that's what I was saying in regard to the socialism, right? In regard to being able to comprehend the power that comes out of our mouth. When I was talking about bullying, we have too many kids that do not know how to stand up for themselves.
right.
In our day, Jess, I mean, that we always had bullies. Bullies were around since the time of David. You know what I mean?
Bullies,
They were always there.
they're always gonna be a bully.
There's in the times of Genesis, there was always a bully. They scared Moses to run away, right? Always a bully. But when you can teach your child to stand up for themselves with their mouth, bro.
Right, because there's always gonna be bullies. Watch our Mean Girls in Ministry. We're
Yup.
talking about bullies, our workplace bullies, right? We spoke
Bully,
about that.
bully at workplace, yup. But
We got
when somebody taught you, not the street, okay? Because that person in me, I've got to kill every day. But when somebody taught you the right way, and you've seen me have to maneuver the right way.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not that I stand down. It's not that I'm scared, but I know how to look at somebody in the face and have to cancel them and tell them, thank you very much for what you said, but I'm not going to accept that.
Yeah. Yeah.
You have to show your kids how to take power back.
Right.
Because bullies only grow with power.
Right. Yeah, because we're not going to be around forever. Somebody said it in the comments. We're not
Yes.
going to be around forever, right?
Right.
So you have to be able to teach your kids how to take care of themselves, how to be responsible adults, how to be in relationships, how to be good parents, because they're going to model your parenting style.
Right.
So if you gave them a tablet at 2 years old and you gave them your cell phone to watch videos when they're 9 months old, they're going to do the same thing with their kids, right? And in
Wait,
essence, what we taught them. Go ahead.
thank you. I don't want to forget another pet peeve.
Go ahead.
I don't know where this fits into how to raise them responsibly, but when I'm talking to Jessica, an adult conversation, and your child,
I know what you're gonna say. I know what you're
and
gonna say.
your child decides to be like, mom, hold on, I'm talking, mom.
Right.
Then I know who's in control.
Let
So
us
I guess
interrupt an adult when we
let
were
us
kids.
what?
We would have got backslapped.
We wouldn't be here right now. So I think manners would be my number 3.
Right.
Etiquette, my number 3. How to sit at a table, bro.
Yeah. Yeah. I need some etiquette lessons. I just go to town when I'm eating. I wish that was something that, like, yeah, you got to teach your kids, right? You don't know what you don't know, but if you don't know it, then you learn it, right? So that's another thing. Yeah, we don't know what we don't know, but you don't stay unknowing, right? We have the resources to be able to learn the things that we don't know. So yeah, etiquette, manners, interrupting adults when they're speaking, butting into adults' conversation. Sir, did anyone ask you for your opinion?
When I have a 14-year-old that wants to drop some wisdom in somebody's marriage.
Right. Yeah. Mom, what you need to do is be a kid and mind your business.
What you need to do is go in your room, take out them crayons.
What you need to do is go to your room and take out that belly ring.
What you need to do is go get a Q-tip, some alcohol, and clean out that belly button. No joke. We have some adults that need to do that, Jessica.
And clean your ears while you at it.
That's why you can't hear us.
But you ain't lying. I mean, there's just so much, right? It's so much.
There's
and
so
really,
much.
I think the basis of having adults that just don't know is really lazy parenting, right? It's and I don't want to say it's always laziness, right? Because there are some parents that are single parents that have 2 jobs, 3 jobs, you know what I mean? And I do understand that, but you can still teach your kids, right? Every moment with your child is a teachable moment. You know what I mean?
Right.
So when you're washing the dishes, they're watching you they're watching you, right? When you tell them to wash the dishes after dinner, it becomes a habit, right? So you in essence are training your kids to the way you want them to behave. So, if after dinner everybody gets up and starts cleaning the table and putting their dishes in the dishwasher and doing all the things, now you do that enough times, you're training them to do that. When I used to train my kids even when they were little, 2 and 3, I'd say, okay, let's walk over to the garbage. You know how many forks we lost because the kids were like throwing their food in the thing and they throw the fork away by mistake. And, you're teaching them what you want them to do and how you want them to behave. So if they're not behaving in the way that you want them to, it's because you haven't taught them.
As you're saying that, right? And I agree with you. There are some circumstances, some instances in our life that things happen that cause us to, a single mom that has to work 2 jobs.
Yeah. Illness in the family,
We had key latch kids, right? But even the key latch kids had responsibility.
Yeah.
So I would say another point is to give your children responsibility. How to make them responsible adults, give them responsibilities as children. And to your point, when you were saying that, this is what I heard. Well, the parents are tired, not that they're lazy. Some are tired because they don't give their children responsibility to help them.
Right. It's not the parents' responsibility. to take care of the whole house. It's not mom's responsibility. It's not mom and dad's responsibility to take care of the whole house. Listen, my brother used to cut the grass. You know, my mom used to make us, I had to mop the floor one week. My brother had to mop the kitchen floor the next week, right? We had to clean our rooms.
Right.
We had to vacuum the living room. We had to clean the living room. You remember this? We had to make sure the living room was clean right before my parents came home from work. So, of course, 10 minutes before they came home, we're running around with the vacuum, putting all our stuff in our rooms, putting all the homework away and all the things, right? Fluffing the pillow, doing all that. We'd wash the dishes. They tell us the dishes better be washed when I get home. The counter better be clean, you know, and we had chores, you know, that we had to do.
But the thing that never happened was taking out the meat on time for it to get unfrozen.
That you couldn't do 10 minutes before 5 o'clock.
You know? But here's the thing, and this is when, as we're talking to this aspect, some parents feel, but I don't want to give them all this responsibility because I still want them to be kids.
Yeah.
And that is a trauma that some of us have lived, that we had to grow up too fast. But we're not telling you to make them go work in the fields and give you their check.
Right.
We're telling you to have them do their beds. You know, in our home, we were responsible for our bedroom. And then on Tuesdays and Sundays, we had to all clean the house. Some of us mopped, some of us vacuumed. It was dishwashing and it was the bathrooms. And we would alternate, right? We're asking you to start somewhere.
Right. Yeah.
Give your children responsibility now, because responsible adults do not just happen.
Right. Teach them how to give. Teach them how to save. Right. Teach them how to look for deals. Walk when you're buying food and you're tempted to just rush through because you just want to get dinner done. Take them with you and say, hey, look at all these, you know, cheese sticks. You know what I mean? Which is the one should we get? We only have this much money, right? Teach them about a budget. You know, teach them about a list. Listen,
give them the money. Yeah. Give them the money and say, we have to buy food for the week with this. Let's do this together. Okay, how much more do we have? How much more do we have? It sounds like a lot, but you're going to be so grateful for the child that you raised.
Right. Yeah. What do you guys want to eat this week? Right? What can we make what can we make? Right? What are some dinners that we can make, you know, together? You know what I mean? Listen, I taught my kids how to cook. I taught them how to cook very simple. I taught them how to ground meat, like how to cook ground beef, because they could make a lot of things with that, right? I taught them how to cook pasta. I taught them how to cook rice. Okay. And then you teach them one thing at a time. Because if they can cook rice, they can cook 10 meals, because how many meals you can make with rice, right? You teach them ground beef, they can make a lot of different things. They can make tacos, they can make you know, spaghetti, right? They can make hamburgers, they can, you know, you teach them one thing and you build on those skills, and then they can help you and say, hey, we're gonna make tacos. You want to make them eat? You know how to do that. Right.
And then some kids make a business out of it because they enjoy it, you know?
Right.
Locas, locos, we're so grateful that I don't know how we just ran out today with this conversation. Like, we didn't even breathe. We didn't even say hello. We didn't even say we love you.
No, we didn't. We didn't.
And if your child, like Dee said in the comments, if your child does not know the stare, that's how I know that you haven't parented well. Okay? If your children do not know the stare, that you don't have to say a daggone word. You just got to look at them from across the room. And if they don't get their lives in order, that means that you got to revisit this conversation. Okay? So that's it, y'all. That's all we got today. That's all I feel like we just went 100 miles an hour.
Yeah, we did. We went 100 miles an hour. But, you know, all the locas can keep telling us in the comments, you know, things that they do to train their children, to teach them about finances, of relationships, how to take care of the home, all the things that we can do. Keep adding it to the comments, because these are helping other people who are gonna read them.
100%.
Yeah.
Well, loca, that's it. That's it. We love y'all. And we will see you next time here on Las Locas.
Chronicles.
We'll see you next week for season 5.
Ah!
Bye, y'all.